We won't even go there. All right. I've got several different things. Jimmy has given me some things, and he and I talked after the last session, and this was kind of a quick. Him coming back here was a little quicker than what I thought we wanted to do, and I said I really want to take this next thing, this next session that I want to do before he comes back again, myself. And so he said okay, and so we worked it out, and his. Is it a daughter or daughter-in-law? Is it? I think his daughter came down with COVID, and she's pregnant and in the hospital, and she is home now. Okay, I didn't catch up to that yet, but so she's been very ill this week. And when did she go home? Do you know? Just the other day. Okay, so it's probably better for Jimmy that he's not here this time as well. But I've put together kind of a hodgepodge of things, and Jimmy said that today we really need to kind of work on our values, and we're going to look at stuff that we talked about a year ago, believe it or not, and some of that stuff is in the notes that you're going to talk about there today. Now, as a staff, we've been going through a book for a number of months called Doing Church as a Team. Doing Church as a Team. And we got into some chapters that were so similar to what we're doing in here. I just went through and took some notes and put the notes down here, and I want to say, and I want to read these notes to us so that we kind of understand what all we need to be doing. And again, these are notes from Doing Church as a Team. It's not the whole book, but it just happens to be the chapters, couple of chapters that we're in the middle of right now as a staff. Here's some things it said. It said, to reach a desired goal, you have to start at the right place and know where you're going. That key, the line at or the words at the end, know where you're going. We as a church need to know where we're going, because if somebody comes in, they think they want to go this way, and another person wants to go this way, and another person no, we need to know where we're going so that people can plug in, if they want to the direction that we're going. And then we're going to be talking about some of those things today. So we are going through this process, the Acts 2 process, so that we can know where we're going, and so that we can articulate it to people, and so that people will understand this is where Northridge is heading, okay? Now, before you do church as a team, I'm back to the notes. You must have a clear and concise understanding of the mission and assignment the Lord has given specifically to your church, your local church. This is commonly called vision. Our vision could be different from another church's vision and another church's vision. You can't just take somebody else's church's vision, adapt it into yours, and expect everything to run just fine. And so, anyway, we have to decide where the Lord has wanting us specifically to have a vision for our church. On Thursday evening, I sat right next to Rob Ketterling. If you know Rob Ketterling, he's the pastor of River Church up in, is it River Church? Okay, up in, what? River Valley Church, there we go. Up in Minneapolis, he's got multiple sites all across that area. I mean, he's got lots and lots of people. And we were at a table, and he was talking, and I wish I could just take his church philosophy and put it into ours, but it's not going to work. He's too far down the road. He's got different ideas, different plans, and we have to decide what the Lord has for Northridge, okay? We're in a different community. He's in Minneapolis area, and those cities are all attached there. It's a whole different ball of wax up there than it is here at Northridge, okay? Number 3, or the third thing down here, a clear vision is the goal God has set for your church. And that's what we're trying to get a hold of here in these sessions, to find out the clear goal that God has for us. Next, each church has its own community, purpose, culture, passion, and gifts. And the gifts obviously come from those that are within here. We don't have certain people with certain gifts, but we have other people with other gifts. And so obviously we're gonna gravitate toward those people who have certain gifts and utilize them. God has a special tailor-made vision for your church, and our goal is to figure out what that is. This vision will become the very foundation of your church's ministry, direction for your planning, and the reason for your existence. And the next page, first the next page, vision is the ability to see what others may not. We are trying to establish the vision for Northridge so that when people come to our church, they don't have to see it, but we've established this is where we're going. It is the capacity to see potential, what things could be. Of all the things we can do as a church, what are the things that we must do? Okay, that's a question. And the next thing there says we need to answer the following questions. Why did God place this church in this community? And if this church could accomplish 4 things, what would they be? And I'm looking for answers here. If this church could accomplish 4 things, what would they be? What are some of your answers to that? If this church could accomplish 4 things, what would they be? Effective teaching. Okay, I'm going to write down all the answers here. Effective teaching. Okay, save the lost. Effective teaching. I got to write the rest of that. Okay. Anybody else? If we could accomplish only 4 things, what would they be? Save the lost and effective teaching. Let me hear from, yes, Rosemary. Okay, I can't hear. Okay, outreach to the community. Outreach to our community. Okay, let me take some other things, Mel. Anybody else? I want everybody to, if you can. Brian. Missions. Okay. What else? We're gonna have more than 4 here, okay? So the 4 slots are filled. No, we're gonna continue to add some more, okay? Say it again. Focus on young disciples, okay? Okay. Okay. Disciples of all ages. What else? What should we be doing as a church? Pray. Prayer. Okay. I'm going to put prayer emphasis there. Okay. Okay. Mirroring Christ to the community. What else? Anything else? Okay. I'm trying to think of a few words to reach out to unloved. Does that say what you've just said? Touch the okay. Touch the unloved. Did I hear welcoming somewhere? Okay. Okay. That's a pretty good start, isn't it? Now the question is, if we were to look at, let's see, 8, 9. There's 10. There's 10 different things there. How would we, if we were to say, what are the 4 most important out of that list? Now, everybody here could say, well, the one thing I said was most important. I understand that. And so we're not going to get into that competitive things. But these are the things that we could be accomplishing and need to be accomplishing in our city. Effective teaching, saving the lost, outreach to our community, missions, focus on young disciples, disciples of all ages, prayer emphasis, mirroring Christ to the community, touch the unloved, welcoming. Brian, did you say it's more than just welcoming something else there? Just welcoming people? Who said that? Oh, okay. Okay. Oops. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'll put welcoming the guests. Is that say? Mm-hmm. No. Right. And that's what yeah, that's where I'm headed here. So we got 10 different things that we've listed. All seemingly are very important. They're all important. What? Uh-huh. We will do those things if we mirror Christ. So mirroring Christ should be one of our four, you say? Okay. Brian. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. I guess that's why the AG has four tenets. Yeah. Bingo, bingo, bingo. Yes, Miss Paula. I cannot hear you from this distance. Leading people to Christ. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, and this isn't this one question isn't about vision. This is about the things that we should, or let's see, if this church could accomplish four things, what would they be? And obviously that makes up some of our vision, but these aren't vision statements per se. Now let's go to the next question down. If I had only 10 years left to invest in this church, what would I focus on? And I'm not talking about finances. If I had only 10 years left to invest in this church, let's say we knew that this church was going to be shut down in 10 years. What should be our focus? And we can kind of look up at the top there. And, of course, what Brian had to say, salvation, healing, baptism of the Holy Ghost, rapture, And of course that fits to effective teaching. It's saving the lost. Our list of 10 certainly fits into those 4 tenets. What would we focus on if we knew that in 10 years we would be gone? That they'd bulldoze the building, they'd shut us down, the government would or whatever, and we would not exist anymore as a church. And I think one of that answers, the main answer is we need discipling people, because if you look in other countries, it's not the building, it's the key, it's the people. And if you can disciple the people, then you can build the church. And again, in this meeting I was at on Thursday, they talked about Cuba and all the things going on in Cuba and India and all the things going on in India. A global university wants to plant 4,000 churches in India, and they got people ready to go. Of course, they got the COVID just rampant in India right now, but they want to get the 4,000 new churches and then have 4,000 new churches. Now, those are not church buildings. Those are pastors who are having house churches in houses. And same thing with Cuba. I mean, you can't build. The government won't let you build churches there. You have to have a house to live in, and then you have church in your house. And then when the government gets ticked off, and what they're doing in Cuba is they're bulldozing the house. You're done. And that would, what would happen if that did it to us? Well, the key is we have to have disciples so that they could and we could touch other people's lives, even if we didn't have this physical building. Brian? Mm-hmm. Yep. Right. Right. Eh, Yeah. Yeah. Carolyn, you were saying something? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Rosemary? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And yeah. And the government's not going to come in and bulldoze this church, okay? But the idea is we must focus on the fact that this church, Northridge, is not a building; it's people. And I know we would all say, oh yeah, prayer is important. No, prayer is important. We have 2 prayer meetings, um, uh, uh, 3 times. I forgot to put the ladies. Forgive me. Um, is there any men that ever come to that? Just the ladies? Huh? Brian's been there. Okay. Okay, yeah, and anyway, so what I'm saying is, we got all this corporate prayer, and we have a congregation of, if you count everybody who thinks Northridge is their home or counts Northridge as their home, there's over 200 of us. We're all not here at the same time, but yeah, oh yeah, Northridge is my home, and they come once every 3 weeks or whatever, and we have a dozen people praying at these meetings, at most maybe 15. And we have 200 people. Okay, if prayer is important, then we need to do what we say we want to do. Yeah, Brian? Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. There you go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm not saying if you don't pray in the sanctuary, then you're not really praying. I'm not saying that at all. But, okay. Mm-hmm. But, yes, Mel. Okay. Yes? Well, I might argue with your premise there because it says if I had only 10 years left to invest in this church individually, yeah, I could see what you're saying. Uh, but what happens? The question doesn't tell us what happens to the church. Is it that we die or the church dies? We just don't know. That's not in that question. So basically, it was, the question is, what should we be investing in the church in the next 10 years, each of us? Because probably in this room, several of us may die in the next 10 years. Okay? Okay? Okay, let's move on. We got a lot to cover today. The first step in finding our vision for this church is to dream. God uses dreamers to turn dying churches into vibrant communities of excited, effective people. God wants us to start dreaming again. As big as we can dream, God's dreams will always be bigger, but we must begin with what we presently have. Every church needs a clear vision. Do we have a vision at this church right now? What was that? What's the mission? Connecting people to Christ and to one another. Connecting people to Christ and to one another. That's what this is all about. It's up for debate. I think it's a great line, And Paul and I were in a church, attending a church that our son was in. I wouldn't say interning anyway. And they had a vision statement for their church, and they'd pop it up, and we'd read this vision statement, and it would be 12 lines. We get to the end, and I'd hate to be tested on what I just read, because I don't remember it. I don't know what it's saying. It's saying they were trying to include everything in it. And one of the things about a vision statement that I like about this one, and our board came up with it years ago when I was trying to come up with a different one. They didn't like mine, and so they had a better one than I did. But the vision, connecting people to Christ. Now you look at our 10 things we just did up here. There's a lot of those 10, and I say 10, not counting the 4 tenets that Brian had to say, but those 10, connecting people to Christ, a lot of those 10 do that, and connecting to one another. Now, is there anything on that list that doesn't fit in that statement, connecting people to Christ and to one another? Not really. That's why I like our statement. So, Carolyn, are we gonna change it? I doubt it, but everything is up for grabs, I guess you'd say, to a certain extent. But that statement that the board came up with, probably Mike was the one that articulated, it is fabulous. It is a fabulous statement. I like it. I've not seen any other church with that particular statement. Now, some have, when we were in Cedar Rapids as youth pastors, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, as youth pastors, it was loving God, loving others, and loving the world. That was our vision statement. Loving God, loving others, loving the world. That's a good statement too. This is different. Yeah. Mike, can you articulate the difference of them? I do too. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sean, read that again from the book. Why do we exist? Okay, where are we going? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I get those two things to me in my brain sometimes are like woot woot woot, you know, but whatever. Um, they are connected. They are connected. And I think where the X2 is trying to get us, the X2 assessment thing that we're doing is trying to get us to the point where that we have statements, because I've seen other churches that have gone through this, and some that have helped create this program. They have, different values in the church, and they will say sometimes one of our values is ba 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 ba, and whatever it might be. One of our values is to disciple children. And is that a cricket in here? That's your phone. I'm used to working here in the building. There's lots of crickets, and so we're trying to come up also with for Northridge. What are some of the things that we value? What do we value? And we value a lot of this stuff here. These 10 things we came up with. We value missions. We value people's souls overseas. Anyway, let's move on here. Where am I at? The top of the next. Well, we did the 10 years thing. Okay, the first step in finding our vision for this church is to dream. Oh, I talked about dreaming. Start dreaming again. Every church needs a clear vision. Now, the top of page 3, that vision must be birthed and aligned with the Word of God. Okay, that's kind of obvious. That vision must be consistent with the Great Commission for reaching the lost. That vision must be hammered out. That vision must be clear, concise, and easily understood by everyone. Now, is the vision the shorter one, Mike? Is that what you were saying? Mission statement is shorter, okay. But the vision must be clear, concise, and easily understood. Doesn't mean it has to be memorized like our mission statement. That vision must guide every, I want to put on the top of my page here, just missions is shorter. Mission is shorter. Yes. Yeah, right. Vision statement tells us how to get there. I'm going to write some of this stuff down. This is good information. What are you saying there, Sean? Okay. Okay. The mission statement is shorter. The vision statement is longer. The vision statement is longer, right? Now, Paula, were you shaking your head when I said that about mission statement? Mission statement is shorter. And that's what we already have. Connecting people to Christ and to one another. That's our mission statement. Phew. Okay. And it is confusing. I read a leadership book. It's confusing for me. And I don't even have hearing aids. Okay. People need a vision, but a vision needs people. You can have a vision, but if no one buys into it, you have nothing. And one of the things about X2 and the direction that Jimmy is taking us, and the reason that you guys, who I pulled out as the core people, you are the core. And you have to believe in what we're going to be doing. You have to buy in to where we're headed. And you have to help other people buy in to where we're headed, okay? Here's a question. Why would people feel excited that our church is in their neighborhood? Sometimes they don't even know that our church is in their neighborhood and they live close. That's exactly true. Mm-hmm. 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 Maybe we need to do that occasionally, Pastor Chris. I know, Brian, you were hearing our music down at your house, weren't you? We need to plan. We need to plan a Sunday to just do that again. Just. I had calls all week long that they've been saying, "Hey, this guy mowing the grass is singing, and we hear it 5 blocks, 7 blocks away." That's Brian singing the praises of God outside. Yes. Right. Yeah. And Brian has been kind of pushing that direction. I keep waiting for his check, but he's been pushing that direction. To must be the mail delivery kind of slowing things down. Yeah, but we've talked about it, and I like the idea of pouring a big slab of concrete and having an awning and having electricity run to it. And if neighbors want to use it for outdoor gatherings, that's fine. But it would be a great place to have an outdoor service. It'd be a great place for us to have outdoor events. But I don't know how much that costs. And it does cost a little. Rosemary, I see that $1,000 hand. What do you need? We do. Yeah, I don't. I inherited that sign the where it is, and it could be code, could be city code. It is code, Brian. Okay. A little higher. Yeah. Attached to the building. Right. Attached to the building. Yeah, yeah. I'd love to put Northridge across the thing here, huh? That is exactly true. And I don't know what we'd have to check on city codes and all that stuff, but we could do erect a big telephone pole kind of thing. Yeah. Yep. And I was here. I was here 6 months or more, and somebody in the church said something about the church steeple. I go, our church has a steeple. I went outside and I went, oh, it does have a steeple. Yeah, I didn't even see it. So yeah, work on some kind of signage by the road. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The vision of how to get our mission statement out there is not. But on Highway 2. Yeah. What, Brian? Mm-hmm. No. And it's low. We. Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. We'll take an offering for the new sign tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Brian, you're gonna say? Yeah, I couldn't hear it either. Much what it was something about. We went to Minnesota just so they. Gas station. But when we backed out, he waved at us. You know, like thanks. Not you, honey. Rosemary. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, and that's what we're doing today. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Brian, you had your hand up? Wow. Yeah. Right. 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 And it's us being involved in another person's life. You know, I mean, we can have all the right words, we can have all the statements on these walls and signs and everything, but if we're not touching people, because people are the people come into this church because of the people that are that we touch, and then they come in. Now, Paula's thing with her little Bibles, we could get a case of Bibles out in the lobby, and for most of us, it wouldn't mean most of the church, it wouldn't mean too much. Well, she's got history with that thing, you know, and so for her, she just does it, and that's a great thing. Derek, say it loud enough we can hear it. Maybe, but maybe somebody gets sees it. I don't know. You know, you can't record how many things. Look what happened to Brian's thing. Heidi. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Let me finish. Well, let us get through this thing here because I don't want to get bogged down for the whole day. Not that we're getting bogged down, but we're not getting through what I want to get through. And I've only told you you're going to be here till 12. So want to stay till 4? Keep asking. Keep talking. Okay. I'm on page 3 there. The strength of any vision lies in the fact that it is caught and shared by every person involved. And we want to be able to have our congregation catch what our vision is, what our mission statement is, so that they can go out and do and bring in the people who need to be brought in. Now, if you look around our church, let's say if our church was meeting here today, there's a lot of people that have come into Northridge since we've been here because of other people who have come to Northridge that invite them in. You know, and a couple, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago, I talked about Carrie Chavez invited Melanie and Jake. Their last name is Merrill now, but they were wanting to get married. They weren't living for God at all. And she says, well, talk to our pastor. Maybe he'll marry you. Well, there were some parameters, and so they did come in. I counseled them 3 different times, got to know them. I married them. They're here pretty well every week because of Carrie Chavez. and and they're new believers. Well, we can do that around. Let me ask you, you core people, are you here because of somebody else from Northridge that got you in this place? Let's see your hand. Yeah, I would think Joanne would be one. Cindy, yeah. There's several of you because of other people being loving and kind and getting you involved. Okay. In order to have a strong church, we must have everyone pulling together in the same direction for the same cause. Now, that doesn't mean that we have, 4 things, and that's the only 4 things we ever focus on. And if you want to do your little red Bibles, and if you want to do tracts, and you go for it, because you're touching people. And the one thing, that little red Bible does to us, and the older we get, the more opportunities we have to share this at gas stations we stop to go to the bathroom at. But it makes Paula, and I'll just use her as an example, it makes Paula get out of her comfort zone, crash through that other person's bubble, and hand them something. Will that guy ever get saved? I don't know. But you know what? He was, and he's probably he was appreciative of it. It was a seed planted, and you never know where those seeds. And look what happened to Brian. Some track that Brian got a hold of in a bar. Is that where the track was, Brian? In a phone booth. Boom. Even though Derek would have had to clean up the phone booth the next day, there was a track that you picked up in the phone booth. Okay. Last one on page 3. The only thing worse than a church without a vision is a church with many visions. Many visions. And we're trying to hone down and figure out what our vision is. We got a mission statement, we've decided, but what is our vision statement? I don't think we figured all that out yet. In such a church, everyone lobbies for his or her own personal agenda. And the church begins gathering a conflicted individuals, each one pulling for his or her viewpoint. Well, we like women's ministry is important here. Men's ministry is important here. Granny's closet's important here. Children's ministry. That's a lot of different visions, And we need to incorporate those in a direction. And in that case here, in our notes here, such a church will bear little fruit. That's why some churches stagnate and decline. And when we started this Acts 2 process last year, we had stagnated as a church. We were just kind of there. Now, of course, we had COVID and we went down and now we're back, but it's not like we're busting at the seams having to do multiple services yet. So we need to make sure that we don't stagnate as a church and then go the other direction. When each ministry and every team member pulls together in the same direction, then you begin doing church as a team. Okay, now move to the next page, and it's values identification. It is small print, but this is what Jimmy sent me. Here's what I want us to, this is your homework right now, and then when we finish this, we'll take a break. But personal values. On the very bottom of this, it says pre-circle 2 personal and 2 church values in each role. So it's going to take us a few minutes as we sit quietly and do this. As an example, we will 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 12 different categories. The top 6 are personal values of yours. The bottom 6 are church values. Leadership. Under leadership, credibility and competence, Christ-like character, self-awareness, accepting and responsible, utilizing anointing and authority, spiritual formation, proactive and initiating, creative, innovation, innovative, creative/innovative, forward-looking. In your personal value, under leadership, what is the one? Yeah, the 2. This one, I had to go look. What are the 2 things that is a personal value of yours? Boom, boom. Just circle them, okay? Down. You go down. Spiritual life, and then you got all those things. And this is not brain surgery here. Just go down and pick a couple out in each category. Spiritual life, personal relationship to Christ, supernatural cooperation, positive attitude, and you decide in your personal value what's a personal value with you. Then on the bottom, it says the first one there is visionary leadership. What is visionary leadership to you? You have to pick 2. You can't pick one. You can't pick 6. You have to pick 2. And then the homework will be, you just do that and you tell me when you're done. I don't want to confuse you. It's too much work at one time, right? Does everybody understand that? You just pick 2 that fits your personal values and then your church values, what you see as church values, okay? Okay. Some may not be done. That's fine. I went through it and did mine too. And if you're like me, it's like, gosh, which ones do I pick? They're so hard. And I'd already kind of picked my two before I got halfway down in most of those lists. So I'd have to go back and forth and maybe. So here's the next point. We want to hear from you, but not verbally. So take out one of your sheets of paper in the back. And I want you to write down these 12 areas: leadership, spiritual life, relational life. You see what I'm saying about the 12 things? On your piece of paper, write those 12. And you can just label them 1 through 12 if you want, what they are. Got it? And then put a little dash, and then you write the 2 things that you chose in that category. And we're going to try to get Val to figure out all of that this week in a document to say, you know what? Everybody seems to, want a certain thing in a category, and that's what we want to try to. I want to get an assessment for what you think. Now, granted, if you mark something, you think, well, I might have should mark something else. So that's okay. We're going for the majority here. Okay, does everybody understand that? Write those 12 things down: leadership, spiritual life. Okay. Number 1 to 12 would be great. Today, we don't let you out. We've locked the doors. So, I just want the information. I figure you probably wanted. Now, if you don't want your sheet, you just circle them and give them to us. We do that. But you might, okay, there's a second idea. Put your name on your sheet and just whatever you've circled or whatever, and give us the sheets. We'll tally them, and we'll give your sheets back the next time we meet. Is that easier? That is much easier, okay? That'd take you a lot less time. Okay. Of the values identification that you looked at, write your name at the top somewhere. Brian Rapp. And pass them in, and we will tally those things. And I want your names written on it so we can give these back to you the next time we're together. So, okay? That will save a ton of time. It did. That Val has the gift of interpretation. Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right. I put little dots by mine, but yeah. Yeah. Like leadership, and you'll have these things, then you just kind of do your 1, your 2, just mark them like that, so that we can look at what is being said by us. Does anybody still have their sheets? Paula is collecting. Lift them up there. Paula, Alice has one in the back there, dear. Okay. Does anybody have a sheet yet? They want. Okay, yeah, you may be working to fill that out. Okay. Don't tally him while you're here, Val. Okay, that's just. Okay. All right, let's take about a 10-minute break. And there's snacks out there. The bathrooms are there. The coffee is out there. And come back in at about 25 after. Actually, that's about a 13-minute break. Come back in at 25 after, at least on the sanctuary clock. Okay? Take a break. Walk around. Okay, class, let's come on back in. About this much coffee and about this much creamer. Okay, let's get started here. If you'll, Val set this up exactly like I left it, but I decided to shift it a little bit. If you'll go back a little further in your packet, where it's I dream of a church where evangelism is. Okay, that's just what I gave you today. Yeah, skip a couple pages right now. Yep. That's it. Now, if you remember right, I don't care if you know or not, but you're going to know here in a second. We all got together on a Sunday afternoon, the Sunday before everything closed down the next day for COVID. And Jimmy had me kind of work us through a sheet and all this stuff. And this is, I literally took the sheet, and I still had that little thing with the little flip thing. So if you weren't in that thing a year ago, that's okay. But I transcribed it into this document here so that we can look at the things that we decided. I say we, those of us who last year were going through Acts 2, about what we said. And the first, and what the document I'm looking at there says, I dream of a church where evangelism is, and then these 5 things. Now here's what we're going to do. I want you, and there's 5 different things. And then the next one, I dream of a church where discipleship is, I got to go to the next 2. I dream of a church where fellowship is, where worship is, where ministry is. Okay? There's 5 different parts of this document. I want you to take just a minute, and it shouldn't take you too long. And in your mind, I dream of a church where evangelism is, and of the things that we decided, and these are all right answers, because these are the answers we came up with, and they're good answers. They're all good. But I want you to pick your number 1. What's your number 1? And then we're going to tally them in just a minute, okay? I dream of a church where evangelism is relational, lifestyle, natural, intentional, purposeful. Evangelism is all of those things. But is there a number 1 in your mind that evangelism is, okay? No cheating, no copying off your neighbor. And Paula, do you have one of those little red Bibles with you? Where'd you get them from? Bring it up here. What? Okay. People were giving them away.
Sir?
Yes, sir.
This changed my life. I would like you to have this. Have a great and wonderful day.
Thank you. Yeah, and just Paula talks so much about it. I want to, you can just hold tight about my assignment. Personal Bible. It's just a few verses from the Bible. It's not the whole Bible. It's here, and what we did here is when Paula got them, she put on the inside compliments of, and we have our church's name, address, and phone number. Okay, so that's how we can kind of get this community. And so you guys, some of you were real positive on this, so we'll have to order some more of these in. But it's not the Bible, even though it says, she calls it her little red Bible, but it's personal. Yeah, Brian? I will open your eyes like this, so they'll be larger for you. Okay. Yeah. I feel your pain. I feel your pain. Okay, you can do your assignment now. No, do all 5 of them. All 5 of those things I just read. Just give me your number 1 in each category. Okay. It is very hard. It is very hard. Sorry. There's another one. Sorry, I didn't warn anybody. Okay, are you finished or close to it? Who is not finished? Just wait, not finished. Okay, there's lots of hands. Okay, I'll wait. There is no wrong answer. Because these are the answers that we came up with a year ago. And they're all good answers. There's no wrong answers. Is everybody done? Who's not done? I'll just ask that question. Who's not done? Okay, your husband is not done there. He's the only one. Okay. All right, now here's how you're gonna help me get a total here on this form. I'm gonna read. I dream of a church where evangelism is, and I'll read each of these things. And if that is the one thing you picked, you let me know, and I'll count the hands and I'll put the numbers down here. Okay. All right. You got that figured out? I dream of a church where evangelism is. Who said relational? And hold them up and hold them high. Just 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Okay. Brian is 5. Okay. Good. Put them down. Lifestyle. 6. Okay. Natural. Is that a hand, honey, or you just got flies? Oh, you sir. She never does the right thing. Okay. Okay. Natural was 1, right? Okay, just Brian. Evangelism is intentional. Okay, hands down. And purposeful. Okay. For the record, you can put your hands down. For the record, lifestyle was the most, tied with purposeful. Relational was, they each had 6. Relational was 5. Now again, doesn't these are all correct answers? Okay, it just helps us to understand where we are thinking. Helps me to understand where we are thinking as a group. Number 2, this is going to be a little different. I dream of a church where discipleship is, and we got more choices here. Learning, teaching Bible principles. Is that a hand, Sean? Is that 3, 4? Yeah, I can tell that. Okay. Okay, put your hands down. Living and doing the word. Put your hand down. Sean, you've already voted. Okay. Don't mess me up. Okay, frequent lifetime. Frequent lifetime. Okay. Genuine. Okay, that's 1. I need to circle these on mine. Loving, purposeful. Okay, got it. Hands down. Something for everyone. Okay, got it. Hands down. Layers. The next one is personal. New people. Okay. Interactive, practical application. Okay. Paula's the proud one there. Now, did you vote twice? Okay. Okay. You know, you guys have checked the top half. The bottom half you're already done, right? You didn't. Okay. Intentional, relational. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Okay. Team orientated. Conversational. That's the speech coach voting there. Okay. Just so you know, learning, teaching Bible principles was the highest with 7. Intentional, relational was the second highest with 6. And again, if you voted for something other than those, that's still, again, it's not a wrong answer. It's just what you guys said. And I'm not going to total up these numbers to see who's voting twice or who's not voting. Okay. That's too hard. I dream of a church where fellowship is building relationships. She just marks the first one all the time. Is that what she said? Okay, hands down. Encouraging other believers. Okay. Connect with unbelievers and unchurched. Okay, 2. Fellowship is more fun groups for us and those outside the church. Okay. Where fellowship is active, intentional. Okay, next one is living life together. Oh, my. You guys copied off each other right here. Oh, keep them up. I'm not done counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What did I just read? Life together. Okay, thank you. 7. Okay, put your hands down. Relationships outside of the building. Connecting to people. Okay. Authentic and real. Okay, hands down. Know one another. And then meeting each other's needs. Okay. You say, why are we doing this? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give Jimmy basically our list. These are the things, and some of the things that were still good, that were still right, and nobody voted for them. Obviously, those are lesser in these categories. But he'll have an idea of this is what we feel like at Northridge. I dream of a church where fellowship is. And the number 1 on this one was living life together. There was 7. Building relationships was second with 4. And I'm going to give him the list so that he knows what we think. Heidi? No. Right, exactly. Exactly. And I will, I'm going to couch it with Jimmy that, hey, this is what we did, and I didn't let you guys vote for two. This is the one, and sometimes there was like a number one, let's say Living Life Together, but there was like subsets, boom, boom, boom. But that's just too confusing, okay? And I know we have some friends of ours that are one of the pastors over in Clinton, Iowa, that pastor over there with Thomas, at the church. Now these are young people, and I'm talking about China. And China, every time we go there, she's a pastor's wife. She's like, "When are you going to come move here so we can live life together?" I said, "I'm living life together with you right now. Enjoy it, okay? I'm not moving here right now, okay?" My kids love me if I live far away. So, anyway, and my kids don't let me adopt my grandkids. So, sorry. But the whole living life together is a phrase that she uses just about every time we come. I want you to move here so we can live life together. I'm living life together, okay? Just a little further away. Just a little statement there. I dream of a church where worship is passionate. Yeah, I did. And nobody voted for the last two. Which was yours? Which one was yours, Mel? Okay. Okay, I did that. Okay, let's do it again then. Connecting to people. 3, yeah, you voted. Did you vote? There was still 3 on that number. Okay, I dream of a church where worship is not number 1, but passionate. Who said passionate? Okay, 1. Lived out. Okay. That's the worship pastor said that. Experiential, encountered. Okay. Where worship is feel God. Okay. I see that hand. Worship is pure. Okay. Got it. Spirit-led, Jesus-focused. Oh, my goodness. Okay, hold them up. It's going to take me a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Wow. I was getting nervous. There were several ones earlier. Okay, where worship is a reverent worship. Reverent worship. Anybody vote for that one? How about inspiring and wait a minute. Inspiring and reverent. That's just what we came up with that day. Okay, that's yours, Brian? Okay. I know, I understand. Where worship is participating, and engaging. Okay. Theologically rich. Anybody vote for that one? Isn't it amazing in this group of, I think there's 22 of us here, 13, and I didn't vote. I'm trying to stay out of the votes. Spirit-led, Jesus-focused was, by far the number one thing that you guys chose. You're lobbying for yours, right? Then, okay, we'll have that third to last one there that Brian voted for. We'll say Jesus inspiring and reverent and see how many will vote for it then, right? Okay. Okay, the last one. I dream of a church where ministry is done by all. What? One. I'm in charge, and you vote for 1, girl. Look. Yeah, you made the sign come off. Okay, I dream of a church where ministry is making a difference. Okay. Where ministry is impactful. Okay. Where ministry is personal/relational. Okay. Where ministry is compassionate. We don't want to have compassionate ministry here, I guess. Okay. I know it. I know it. I just had to lay into that one a little bit. Where ministry is home, church, and marketplace. Insightful inspiration. Okay, Cindy. Reverent. No. Relevant. Yes, I'm sorry. Relevant. Anybody go for relevant? Or were you like me? You got the wrong word. Okay. Spirit-led. Okay. Okay, put your hands down. Far-reaching. Are you, Brian, is she voting for 2 over there? You check, keep an eye on her, okay? Yeah, I think so too. And you think I'm in charge of this church. Where ministry is, the last one, pastor equipped. No, that's good. That's good. And where ministry is, and the first one was spirit-led. Now, again, let me say over and over, if you were the only one that voted for a thing, that's okay. That's still correct. But we're trying to get an idea of where we are collectively, maybe thinking in mass, okay? And no, we're not talking about Catholics. Okay. Sorry about that. It just came out. Were you really? Any ex-Catholics here that I just offended? Okay. Did I offend you? Just ex-Catholics, right? Okay. This is good for us to assess what our thinking is, okay? And where it's good for me to see where you think we are, okay? And that helps. And it's going to, we'll fire it off to Jimmy and let him see it, and he can do with whatever he wants with it. But I do want him to see what the core is thinking about, okay? Now, the next one, church core values. This one might be a little harder. This one, I'm gonna have you write your name on both sheets of paper, okay? No. Everybody got it? Yeah, back up, Mel, because we skipped ahead one. Yep. Yeah, it has different things and has all these numbers all over the place. Okay? And again, this will help us, and it'll help the board to see what the core is thinking. Even though I'm missing 2 board members right now, that's okay. In the room. But put your name on both sheets. First sheet and the next sheet. Put your name on both of them. Because to make it simpler, we'll collect these, and then we'll tally them, and we'll give them out the next time that we are together. Because it would take us forever to tally these, and I don't even know how you do that. I haven't explained anything yet. I'm just having you put your name at the top. Okay. Yeah, on both sheets. Help her out, Carolyn, would you? Yeah. Okay, here we go. This is the church core values. Use a scale below. Circle the number that best expresses to what extent the following values are important to you or your church. Okay? Yeah, it's basically, what the following values are important to you for our church. How's that meaning? We're talking about the church. We're not talking about your personal life. I don't want to be clear about that. So let me change the wording there. Are important to you for our church. Okay? So you're answering it for the church, but it's what values are important to you for this church. I mean, if we had a cruddy children's ministry, which we don't, if we had a cruddy children's ministry, that would be something that would be a value that would be important to you, that have a better children's ministry. And I mean, we have a phenomenal children's ministry, and I hear from people that come in here as guests, oh, our kids loved it. They don't say that about my sermon, but they say that about Angie's over here. So, yeah, exactly. Work your way through the list quickly, going your first impression. Fairness, being treated impartially without. And you know, if you put most important on all of them, it'll kind of skew things. But if you have some that are maybe less important to you, now again, how should I say this? Your scale could be all fours and fives, and the next person's scale could be twos and threes. But you still are on the your number system's just different. Okay, it'll just and what we will do is we will find out the things on the left there, those 24 different things, what we see as most important to us. Okay? So just not necessarily, no. I'm trying to see if yeah, like if we're not doing something I think most of these things are happening, but some of them are, you know, like a community caring about and addressing the needs of others. Which one are you talking about, or are you? Yeah, neutral. Like let's look at number 21 as an example. I'm trying to pick one that doesn't have a ministry tie. Tradition, the customary ways, or the tried and true. Okay, is that important to you or not? To me, not so important. Status quo, preference for the way things are now. Are we happy with the way things are now? Oh, yes, it's so important to be just like we are now. I would say not too important. That's just my numbers there. Okay? So those are things that are not present ministry things happening. Yes. Yes, turning these in. And I did mine as well, so mine will be in the mix. And I read 19 kind of wrong on my sheet here. I put a 1 on it. People who are non-Christians and may not attend church. I'm thinking, you're not a Christian and you may not attend our church. No, I've read that wrong. Who are not Christians and may not attend church. Okay, let me go over this right here. Okay. Just because I have the sheets don't mean I understand the questions. Okay. I had all these other sheets so you can fill all the stuff out on blank sheets. But again, if you put your name there and somebody want to pick these up and give them to Val, it'd be great. Okay, there you go. She's the organized one in the office. Okay. Paul is going to gather them, I guess. You got a paper clip with just the ones from today. Here, Dairy Pie. Thank you. Anybody still have their sheets that Paula needs to pick up? Okay. Okay. We're going to end a little early so that Brian Gibson can take us all to the buffet house for lunch. Joanna's suggested that anyway. Oh. Oh, okay. You know, and I use that to segue into what I want to say. You know, buffets are interesting places. The what's the pizza buffet? Pizza Ranch. Pizza Ranch has a buffet. I like their salads. I like their fried chicken. I've been there in a year and a half, but they have a buffet generally has a direction that they go. Pizza Ranch. What does that tell you? Pizza is going to be in that place, and I'm just ad-libbing this because it just makes sense in my brain right now. But other people come. Paula doesn't go. If we go to Pizza Ranch, which we haven't gone in a long time, as you all know, she can't eat anything with gluten in it. But we can go to Pizza Ranch together, and she'll get a salad, and I'll get the fried chicken. It's fried in other kinds of luscious gluten stuff, and eat a pizza that's filled with gluten, but she'll have a salad. Do they have gluten-free pizzas there? Oh, excuse me. That ruins what I was going to say. But anyway, and then we go. And then if we were to go in town to what's that Chinese place over there next to T-O, the 3 letters. Tao's. Yeah, what is it? What nationality is it? Asian. That Asian buffet. Okay. I don't know. They got stuff in there that I won't eat because it's just like, oh no. They do have a lot of stuff I do eat there and I like. And what I'm saying is, we as a core group here, you may go with us to the buffet and you may eat something really different than me. And that doesn't mean I look down on you. Hey, enjoy yourself. You're at the buffet. You're eating the raw fish. Go for it, buddy. I'm not there, but go for it. And we as a church, but each of those places have a general direction that they're heading. And even though we are working together, there may be things that you say or categories that you choose that you think is most important. That doesn't mean you're wrong. It just means you're a little bit different. But the main direction that we're going to head is we're all going to go together. We're all going to go in a certain direction with our mission statement, which is the smaller one, and the vision statement, which we are trying to create through this process. I don't know. Be quiet, Mel. So the point is this. We as 22 people here today are not going to agree on every little thing in the direction that we head, but we're going to head together. We're going to do life together because we want to serve Jesus. We want to disciple others. We want to win them to Christ. We want to give to missions. We want to do all those kinds of things. There are some things that, shall I say, there are some things that all of us believe in with regard to the direction that the church is heading. And there's some things that some of you might, you have a little different. I have a flavor for children's ministry. Hey, that's great. You have a flavor for youth ministry. That's great. You have a flavor for women's ministry. That's great. But we're still have all these different subsets, but we're heading in the same direction. Okay? And that's how I got from buffet to this. And I sometimes think that, we look at church and people coming through the doors are coming through the doors for different reasons. You know what I'm saying? I want every aspect of the ministries that we do here to be excellent. People come in and they got children, little children. What do you think they're looking for? They're looking for a children's ministry that's going to touch their kids. If they come in and they got teenagers, they may be looking for a youth ministry that's going to touch their kids. They may have post-high school kids, and they're wanting an ignition, a remnant group. Remnant, I have trouble. That's going to minister to their college-age person or their post-college-age person. So people that come through our doors are coming through the doors for differing reasons. But my goal is to have everything that we do to be sharp and to not be embarrassed by anything that we produce. So if you know what I mean, any ministry that we have, I want it to be sharp. I want Mel and Peggy's class to be sharp and the people that go there to be excited. I want right now the class that Brian and Joanne and Mary and Bill and Paul and I teach, I want that class to be sharp. So the adults that don't go to this other class, they come to this class or vice versa, that is sharp. I want all the children's ministry workers to be sharp so that everybody that comes through the door leaves feeling like I got what I wanted. Graders, graders. And the graders are doing a magnificent job. Rose is doing a great job, and they're adding to their numbers, and they're also now doing exit greetings based on what Jimmy said last time here. And one of the things that, and I'm just kind of rambling on here, but one of the things that I was so excited about last time is Jimmy mentioned exit greeters in our session here. We never thought of exit greeters. At least I didn't. Rose, I don't know if you might have thought. We never thought about it. It'd be good to have an exit greeter saying, hey, glad you were here. So what happened the next day? Rose and I didn't go, we didn't go into session that night and say, okay, we got to organize exit greeters. Two of the people that were in this, Cindy is one, and Brian Hofer is the other one, they just took it upon themselves to greet people on the way out the door. Man, that's the kind of church that we need to be. When you see a need and you see it's not getting met and you just have some kind of an inkling that, that would be an important thing to do, then you do it, That's what having buy-in is all about. Now, I was sad last night. I got a text at about midnight from Brian Hofer, and as the college, you guys know, he's moving to Florida to start a law degree. So I'm sad for that, but that happens. Sometimes, people move away to go to school, to go to law school. And if you live in Nebraska in February, I see why they're going to Florida. He's going to Florida. I mean, I have no, but the point is that two of you in this core group of people last time heard something about exit greeters, and Jimmy had just kind of said it, and I went, oh man, that's good. I'd never thought about exit greeting. I've never read that anywhere. And boom, two of you jumped in. That's what doing ministry is about, and that's what the kind of hearts that Paul and I especially love in you guys. You guys are the core. You're the reason that we enjoy life, and we're going to do ministry together. But people come through the door. They come through the door for differing reasons, and we need to make sure that we minister to those different reasons. We got people that come in that are in their 70s. Okay, why are they here? Are they here to see how good the children's ministry is? Only if they got the grandkids with them. They're looking for other things. And maybe they're looking to connect in here. And maybe they're just looking for some friends. We were listening to, as we were driving back from Minnesota, which is like 7 years away from here. It's a long way. We listened to one sermon by Rob Ketterling about singleness. He preached it a couple weeks back, and singleness. It was an excellent sermon. And he said there's two different groups of people in our culture who are single, the young and the old. There's a lot of people that have lost their spouse up here at the other end of age life, and they're single. Why are they coming in? Well, they need fellowship, don't they? They need something that I trust that we will have, not that we have to be fully organized in everything, but that we can minister to. Mary, is that Susan? I always want to call her Mary. I don't know why. Susan. Susan came in here. She saw us online. She was raised in Assembly of God. She's got that background. She saw here what she was looking for. So Susan comes in. She invites her neighbor in, okay? Now, her neighbor, might be coming for a different reason. I don't know, and I don't know the neighbor's, I don't know if she's married or single, or I don't know any of that, okay? She's a widow too, so there's two widows? Okay. So the issue is, this Acts 2 thing that we're doing assessment, and now we're basically about halfway through. Jimmy's coming 2 more times, is to get us to see where we can do church better, how we can do church better. Do I think we have a great church? Absolutely. Do I think we have problem areas? Absolutely. Do I think we have problem people? Absolutely. Do I think we have great people? Absolutely. We're kind of, and the problem people are much more minor than, much more minor than the great people. And I just, Paul and I, we just love you guys to death. And we want to do all we can to make Northridge a better church so that we're not stagnant. Okay? The idea is to grow. I heard somebody say this week, maybe last Sunday, something about, I like the size of our church. I don't like that statement, okay? Because when you say you like the size of the church, you are saying, I want to keep some people that could get saved away from here. No, I want us to continue to grow, because when we continue to grow, it's because we're touching more people. We're touching the Susans and the Susan's neighbor. What's her first name? Janet? Jan? Okay, so we're touching the Susans and the Jans of this community who need Christ. We're touching the neighbor right down the street from us that Paula led to the Lord a couple of weeks ago in our patio in the backyard. We should never get comfortable with the size of a church we have. Oh, I feel comfortable. When I was a youth pastor years ago, we had a different structure. We had deacons that were elected and elders that were appointed by the pastor for life, which was sometimes problematic. But one of the elders had his history was small church. That's kind of who he was, and he's still alive. And I don't want to use his name because it's on the internet somewhere. And that brother, and he's a wonderful guy. But when we came there as youth pastors, the church was running about 300. We grew to over 1,300, 1,400 people. the fact that we grew so much for him was difficult because he was used to smaller. And he didn't want to get big because he wanted to know everybody in the church. Well, as we found out, was it last time here or maybe 2 times ago, that some people didn't know everybody's name in this room. Well, okay, whose responsibility is that? It's ours to make sure we know everybody's name in this room. But that brother, he resigned from being an elder in the church because he didn't want to go the direction of growing the church because that made him uncomfortable. Well, if that makes you uncomfortable, get comfortable. Ask Jesus to help you, okay? I don't want you bailing out if we start to grow and do great things like that. But the purpose of our church is to reach souls. It's to reach souls. And if and I have said from time to time, not in a mean way, but if somebody says to me, I'm comfortable with the size of my church. Oh, do you have somebody in your family that needs Jesus? Yes. Well, then you are saying that person shouldn't come to our church and get saved. Because if you're comfortable with the size, no, we need to be inclusive. We need to be bringing these in. We need to be bringing the teenagers in. We need to be bringing the children in so that we minister to them. But everybody that comes through that door, comes through those doors, has a different reason they're coming to church. Amen? Mm-hmm. You just did. Mm-hmm.
They
Mm-hmm.
all help the pastor in informing him of needs that people have. That's the church. But you know, sometimes some of you know of somebody that has a real need, and you don't tell the pastor. He's not a mind reader. So
My wife will tell you that.
you let us know, or you let the pastor know. That's how he is better able to minister to us and those new people that come.
And I would say this: when you come to church and you see somebody that you don't know their name, introduce yourself. Introduce yourself, and hey, my name is Mark, and I've been here for a lot of years, and I don't know your name yet. Now, there's not a lot of pressure in that kind of a statement. Well, my name is Rose, or whatever. But just introduce yourself. And it's one thing to have a badge on and be friendly. It's another thing to not have a badge on and you're friendly. It means a little bit more. Okay. Any other comments before I wrap it up? Wrap it up. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and we're working and trying to get name tags to people that have said, "Hey, we want to be a part of this church." Come back a second time. Yeah, we're going to start attending. Well, we try to make sure that we get a name tag for them. Or are we perfect with that? No, but we're trying to do better and better.
We've also noticed, like some people that come back the second time, and we go to get a name tag, they're surprised that they're back the second time and we've got a name tag. And Llewellyn and I are trying to perfect that and do a better job, and we're learning as we go. But this also tells people they're back the second time. We got a name tag. It tells them we know that you were here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not only does you know, but somehow the church system knows that
Yeah.
there's a name tag.
Now, there's two kinds of people that come in here for the first time on a Sunday. There's those people who are looking to connect, and there's a second group of people who are looking to just look. And there was a young lady that sat over here one Sunday, and I was in the lobby. When whoever concluded here, and the young lady just walked right past. Hey, good to have you today. Okay, and that group of people wants to remain invisible. And you know what? Okay, remain invisible. There probably was something here that, and if you come from a more liturgical background, we might be a little far out there for some of those people. And we're just not what they're looking for. But we're trying to look for those people who are wanting to connect and to connect to them. And so anyway, yeah, Heidi? Yeah. Val takes attendance. And we were using the name tags, but if you don't pick up your name tags, then the several of us just have to guess, was this person there? Well, she takes attendance, and so we get staff. We get an attendance. I don't know if you guys get it as much as I do, but there's two things. Luella will call people that she knows or even doesn't know that haven't been here for a while, and then I go through the list and look, okay, who is it that I've got either a connection or that just might know me? There's people who know me, but they've quit coming. The COVID thing is one example, and so I will do a lot of texting or sometimes phone calling. I know texting is for me good. I can text and it sits there whenever you're ready at the other end to read the text from me. There it is. So we are doing that. Is it being successful? Sometimes, because I'll tell, oh yeah, I'll be there this Sunday, Pastor. I'm sorry, I've been missing. Da 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 da. I've heard stories. Oh yeah, we're gonna start Easter Sunday. There was somebody here, a couple, and they were here at Christmas time, but used to be regular. COVID came, they got busy. And when you get busy, it's hard to get unbusy on Sundays. I don't understand how a 90-minute service is that obtrusive into your schedule, but it is for some people. Well, they were here Easter. I saw them. I came out of, we did baptism. I talked to them out here in the lobby. Oh, yeah, we're going to start coming again. We're going to start coming again. Haven't seen them since. Well, I can text them, but you know what? There's just some that we're just not going to reach. Paula? Yeah. Right. 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 Yeah. Now, Val, that's a Word document, isn't it? That attendance thing. Excel. Okay. So if somebody called in, you could email them that list, right? Okay. So if some of you say, "Hey, look, I'd like to do some of the calling. I'd like to contact those people. I'd like to text or whatever." You call Val, or Sean and I, or whoever's here at the office. You call us. We'll leave a note because Val's not in here full time yet, but we will leave a note, and then she can email you the list of attendance. The next on Monday or Tuesday. Boom, you can have it there, and you can know who to do it. There's one couple, a family, got 3 children, I think, between them and stuff. And when they're all here, and you have so many families, they're so wounded, yeah, but mixed up, blended. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Blended, where okay, we got our kids here, but we don't have his kid and all. Well, we got one family that's been missing for a while, and we can't seem to get them back. And I talked to somebody in this church who got him in this church. Hey, where's so and so? They're got all kinds of things going on. So the thing is, people are like that, okay? But we need to go after them, and we will give you a list like that to do that. Luella? The older lady? Gladys. Gladys, yeah, she's just real old. Yep. 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 Yeah, calling people is important. So if you want to do that, you want to take that ministry on, we'll let you. Brian? Yes, there is a church directory. You have to be here a certain amount of time. You have to pass 3 different background checks before we give you one. We will make sure there's some more church directories here because when we put them out, they go out quickly. So yeah, Val, we'll have to do some more. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What was that you say, Brian? Can they be sent an email form? Okay. Some people choose not to have their name and numbers in the directory, and I understand that. Robert Faldorf, when he was coming because of Jaden, police chief, he didn't want his name in there, did he? Was he one that? Okay, had his address. So you could go by and bomb his house, but you couldn't call him and bug him, I guess. I don't know. But so there's certain people that, and there's been other people because of their jobs and because of the security that they want around themselves, don't want their information public. And okay, we're if you don't tell us, if you don't give us permission to put your name in the directory, it may not be there. And you may say, well, where's so and so's name? They don't want their name in our church directory. Yeah. Yeah, well, you haven't passed the background checks yet to get one of those, so we'll see what. Yep. Well, she takes. We do something different now, but Val does. Yeah, we get everybody now that Val's taking attendance. But I will say this: I texted somebody the other day. This is like 2-3 weeks ago. I said, hey, I missed you on Sunday, man. I didn't think they were here. Oh, I was here. And I said, well, great, but I missed you. I didn't see you. And so you can tell people you miss them, and when they really were here, I missed you. I didn't see it, and I didn't think they were here, and I don't know if I checked the thing or not, because sometimes people will come to my mind as I'm going places. Oh, I haven't seen Joanne lately, and I'm concerned about her. So I'll text her, and she said, well, I was there Sunday, Pastor. You greeted me. Oh, okay. So anyway. Yeah, that happens too. Okay, let's pray. I want to pray. It's 11:30, and God bless you guys for coming today. And as we continue on this journey, the purpose is to make our church more healthy, to make us more aware of the needs of people around us so that we can touch this world and this community. Jesus, I pray for everybody that is here today and has